and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Palestinian Islamists fire mortar shell from the Gaza Strip towards Israel's southern communities, prompting rocket alert sirens to sound across the Eshkol Regional Council. The United States has once again used its veto power to block a UN Security Council statement against Israel, in which the members of the Council attempted to express regret over an Israeli decision to end the mandate of an international observer force that operates in the West Bank city of Hebron. The Russian-supplied S-300 surface-to-air missile system in Syria has reportedly become operational in Moscow's efforts to provide the Assad regime with more advanced anti-aircraft capabilities. Palestinian Islamists fired a mortar shell from the Gaza Strip toward Israel's southern communities last night, prompting rocket alert sirens to sound across the Eshkol Regional Council. The mortar exploded in an uninhabited area, causing no injuries or damage. In response to the Palestinian attack, an IDF tank opened fire toward an observation post belonging to the Islamist Hamas, located in the southern part of the enclave. While the Islamist Hamas did not immediately respond to TV7's request for comment, an IDF spokesperson reiterated to TV7 that Israel views Hamas as solely responsible for all acts of terror that emanate from the Gaza Strip and will use all the tools at its disposal to protect the civilians and sovereignty of the Jewish state. Now to the United Nations headquarters in New York, where the United States has once again used its veto power to block a UN Security Council statement against Israel, in which the members of the Council attempted to express regret over an Israeli decision to end the mandate of an international observer force that operated to date in the West Bank city of Hebron. The organization in question, TIF, which is short for the Temporary International Presence in Hebron, was established in 1994 with an Israeli mandate to monitor the situation in the city. The decision was made to appease the international community after a Jewish settler, on the 25th of February 1994, opened fire in a Hebron mosque, killing 29 Muslim worshippers and injuring another 125. While an international agreement on TIF outlined the tasks and mandate of the mission, an increase of complaints by Israeli residents of Hebron and IDF forces has prompted an Israeli investigation into the organization's conduct. After the findings of the investigation revealed recurring breaches of the organization's mandate, with several incidents in which TIF observers were captured, deliberately disturbing Israeli soldiers from their ongoing operational activities, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced in a statement that he will not allow an international force to act against Israel and that he will not renew the organization's mandate, which officially ended on the 31st of January. The Prime Minister's decision to terminate TIF's mandate, however, infuriated many countries around the world, including the organization's mandated backers, Norway, Sweden, Italy, Switzerland, and Turkey, all of whom immediately condemned the Israeli move. Immediately after the decision, Indonesia and Kuwait, at the request of the Palestinians, called for last night's UN Security Council meeting, seeking to bring about a United Nations condemnation of the Israeli decision as a measure that increases tension in the ancient biblical town where both Palestinians and Jews reside in close proximity.
It is the duty of the Security Council to act. It is the duty of the Security Council on the basis of its resolutions to make sure that the safety and protection of the civilian population in the occupied territory, including East Jerusalem, to be ensured. And in fact, in the report of the Secretary General himself on the issue of protection, he gave several options, including issues related to a larger role to the United Nations to play to ensure protection of the civilian population.
During the Security Council meeting, which was held behind closed doors, the United States representative insisted that Israel had a right not to renew the temporary mission. After the meeting, the German ambassador to the United Nations voiced hope, however, that the termination of TIF's mandate would not lead to an escalation and that alternatives would be found to assure the protection of the civilian communities of Hebron.
We hope that the termination of this mechanism now, as Israel has decided upon, will not lead to an escalation, but that there will be in the future mechanisms be found so that the population there gets along with each other.
Now, in other news, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that the United States military, together with its coalition partners and local Syrian Democratic forces, have virtually liberated all of the territories that were held by the Islamic State in both Syria and Iraq. In a speech the American leader delivered to a meeting of ministers of the global coalition to defeat the extreme Muslim group, President Trump revealed that the announcement on the defeat of the Islamic State will be made probably by next week.
The United States military, our coalition partners, and the Syrian Democratic Forces have liberated virtually all of the territory previously held by ISIS in Syria and Iraq. It should be formally announced sometime, probably next week, that we will have 100% of the caliphate. But I want to wait for the official word. I don't want to say it too early.
After listing the achievements made by the U.S.-led coalition during the 2 years under his administration, President Trump declared that the United States will continue to battle radical Islamic terrorism to assure the safety of civilian populations.
Rest assured, we will do what it takes to defeat every ounce and every last person within the ISIS madness and defend our people from radical Islamic terrorism. I commend the 30 other nations who are already contributing troops to this vital effort. And it's a different effort than we had initially, but totally vital.
The meeting was concluded with a group photo of the ministers of the global coalition to defeat the Islamic State in a clear show of unity and force. Meanwhile, however, in Syria, the Russian-supplied S-300 surface-to-air missile system reportedly became operational in Moscow's efforts to provide the Assad regime with more advanced anti-aircraft capabilities. According to satellite images that were taken by Israeli ImageSat International Company and published yesterday by the IDF, 3 out of 4 aerial defense batteries were captured in an upright position, while the 4th one remained covered by a net. That said, reports have indicated that the S-300 batteries have been operational for nearly 4 months, yet remain in the hands of the Russian forces, who are training the Syrian military personnel on the use of the advanced surface-to-air systems in the coming months. While an Israeli Air Force source told TV7 that Israeli pilots have trained against the S-300 many times in the past, the batteries will increase the challenges posed to Israel's fighter jets in future operations. That is why Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced earlier this week a scheduled meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, in which Iran's entrenchment in Syria and Israel's national security interests will be topping their meeting's agenda. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7Israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@TV7.fi. For more updates from Israel and its region, please join our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel at TV7 Israel News. Be praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time.